Auzubillahi minash shaitanir rajeem. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Assalamu alaikum, and thank you so much everybody for tuning into PT World. You certainly watching World this morning. With me, I'm really lucky that I've been joined by my wonderful colleague who happens to be Miss Eesha Rehan. I happen to be Shahzad Khan. And we hope and pray that everybody out there is doing wonderfully well and that you're ready to kickstart your day with us. But first things first, hello Eesha, assalamu alaikum. How are you feeling today?
Walaikum Assalam, Shahzad. I'm feeling great. The weather has been very harsh and hot in Islamabad recently. We are used to very pleasant breezes, but yeah, slowly we are diving into summer. And are you prepared?
I think we've already kind of dived into summers as well, and the kind of heat that we're witnessing in the different parts of Pakistan is something which we really need to be careful about. We really need to make sure that we hydrate ourselves and that we look after, each and every one who's around us, probably offer them water. Not just that, I think that the flora and fauna actually needs to be taken care of. But in addition to this, I think that the weather's not just harsh within Pakistan, but I believe that it's within the South Asian region, where unfortunately what we do see is BJPization under the Modi fascist regime. And in addition to this, I think we do see how the shrill stridency of several Indian news channels that is stoking and urging for war. And in recent times, what we have seen is the 16 YouTube channels from Pakistan were banned by the Modi fascist regime in India, because they certainly do not want to kind of look at what actually can be done. But in addition to this, I think Modi faces tough questions on Pahalgam. False flag voices from within India questions Pahalgam false flag. India's pro-BJP media outlets spreading war hysteria. India's war hysteria puts at risk peace in South Asia. People of Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir rejects India's narrative and policies. In addition to this, Pakistan's offered a neutral probe into Pahalgam attack. Modi regime not ready to have serious conversation. BJP government accusing Pakistan without any investigation. Modi regime's reckless brinkmanship risks escalation. Armed forces ready to defend Pakistan's sovereignty. Pakistani nation backs its armed forces against India, and we will do that. Not just that. I think there's one more thing which I would want to bring to the attention of the people who are actually watching us right now. We got in 46 different countries. First of all, we have seen how the Modi fascist regime over there in India, or the BJPization, we have seen that. We have seen how people within the Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir have been killed, murdered, vultured by the Modi fascist regime in India. And in addition to this, I think what we really need to kind of talk about over here is that, that it's the lapse of the Indian forces for not being able to see what has been happening. It's a lapse on their behalf. And to talk about all of this, we're very lucky that we've actually been joined by Brigadier Retired MASUD Khan sir, who happens to be a senior analyst. Assalamu alaikum, sir. Good morning. Thank you so much for joining us. How are you feeling today?
Walaikum Salam. Feeling great. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir, for joining us. First things first, sir, I think let's get started with how the picture really needs to be seen by the world. We have seen India making sure that that the people of the Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir will suffer, ever since Pakistan came into being, 1948 and onwards. We do know what the reality behind that is. Not just that, we have found, we do know what happened in 2019 when they wanted an airstrike against Pakistan, and what happened to that gentleman, who said that the tea is fantastic. We do know how unfortunate the Jafar Express incident was, and our media didn't really kept on mongering or asking for war. But what do we see now is the lapses on behalf of the Indian government, and not just that, the lapses on behalf of the Indian forces.
Thank you very much. Basically, the Indian media, the Godi media as they are called, they're basically, they are the BJP, RSS and the media too. They are the great admirer of Hitler. And basically, they were basically started with this fake concept of fake news. The Lugan Presse was the concept which they floated, and it was Joseph Goebbels who said, if you tell a lie big enough and keep repeating it, eventually people will start believing it. That is the thing which they follow. Secondly, then the Chanakya Kutalia, the think tank of 2005 years ago, he wrote Artha Shastra, and he said, he said, we resort to propaganda, carry out cyber warfare, then infiltrate your agent into your enemy state, and have good relation with the enemy of your enemy state. So that this is what they are basically, we have seen they are doing it for the last so many, right from partition. And there is no doubt, as far as we say, it is the propaganda, and they have been exposed. EU-led, they exposed the Indians, 750 fake media outlets across the globe, content critical to Pakistan, and then it was Washington Post, they exposed them. Then the Stanford Internet Observatory exposed the the so-called social media and media using content against Pakistan. Then it was Twitter, former Twitter, then Facebook. They also exposed the course which are in Indian Elite Group at Jammu and Kashmir, like 15 course, basically focusing on the fake narratives. So there's a lot many things that are happening inside India. They are fixated and obsessed with Pakistan. So therefore, everything is they talk of Pakistan and Islam, and that is these two words basically they use to get to win elections. So, but in the present scenario, when we talk of Pahalgam, so it within 5 minutes, the incident occurred within 5 minutes. They said it was Pakistan, the raw affiliated account, social media account, and subsequently the mainstream media and the other social media account they started. Now the question has been raised by the international community, and even recently, a couple of years, I was listening to the Robin Raphael, one of the former U.S. diplomat. She said that it's humanly not possible within 5 minutes without carrying out any investigation, credible investigation, verifiable evidence, and you accuse Pakistan and registering an FIR within 10 minutes. So that was not possible. Then where was those security? Because Pelagam, 200 kilometers from line of control at the base camp, basically from where actual Amarnath Yatra starts. So has to be presence of a huge number of the security forces. Previously, there has been military camps in those areas, in Pahalgam and surrounding areas. But this time, when they actually this happened, there was no reaction from the nearby camps. So it was a false flag designed to basically portray Pakistan as state sponsoring terrorism to shift spotlight, which was on Indian transnational repression across the globe, because they have been established of
Exactly.
when they were involved in assassination of Hardeep Singh Major in the United Kingdom. Then there was a plot to assassinate Pannu in New York. Then they killed Ota Singh Khanda in United Kingdom. Paramjit Singh Panjwar in Lahore. Then the Guardian carried a story of killing 22 Kashmiris in Pakistan. So so that was one factor. So they tried to shift that thing, and then the economic indicators in Pakistan were they were positive, and there was a summit, there was a SEO summit, there was mines and minerals summit. Then the vice chief of army staff spoke on the while addressing the overseas foundations convention, and where he talked of Kashmir, juggler ban of Kashmir, the two nation theory, and he also said 1.3 million Indians, the military, they can't do anything for us. So what to talk about our 1,500 terrorists? So these were some of the things they basically hit them hard. So this was, I think, was some of the factors they tried to divert domestic audience for the protests, which was in progress against the Waqf bill, which was passed by Lok Sabha, and then the atrocities in Indian occupied Jammu and Kashmir, atrocities in Manipur, where Christians are being targeted, and then Sikhs in the Indian Punjab, and the Muslims in the mainland, as you were telling in the start, that Muslims are being lynched for eating beef, for trespassing cattle, and also there is they have introduced this Citizen Amendment Bill, which again Muslims. Then there's a NRC, National Register for some citizenship in Assam, and then they have also introduced the concept of law jihad, garwapsi, adds so many things. At the same time, they're also destroying the Muslim shrine, Muslim mosques, and madrasas, etc. So, as a whole, terrorism in Pakistan using Afghan soil for the last 20 years, when Ashraf Ghani and Karzai were the rulers of Afghanistan, and even at present, They are running camps in Rajasthan. We have the knowledge that where these camps are located. They are running camps for BLA and Sindhu Dash Revolutionary Army. So terrorism in Pakistan, Pulbhushan was caught in from Balochistan. So India is a nation, a country which is exporting terrorism, not only in Pakistan but across the globe, and has become a rogue state.
Exactly, and sir, in addition to this, I think not just that, where if we are to kind of speak about Pakistan and that too with facts, serving Indian military official was found financing and facilitating terrorism in Balochistan. There were other covert Indian proxies that were present in Balochistan. And I think in addition to this, what they need to realize now is, because there's been an article in New York Times which actually says, I'm going to read you a few lines. The last time the perpetual tensions between India and Pakistan escalated into a face-off, Indian officials were forced to confront an uncomfortable reality. The country is huge and underprepared for imminent threats as its borders. But not just that, I think they write about India and Pakistan appear on the verge of another military conflict as India promises retaliation for a deadly terrorist attack in Kashmir. But New York Times tells India that, hey, you know what, you're not even prepared for Pakistan's military.
Exactly. This is what they have written a couple of excellent articles. And this specific article which you are referring, basically, they said India is in no position to go for a hot war or a conventional war with Pakistan. According to the details which they have given, that a parliamentary committee was established by Indian government in 2018. Their conclusions, their recommendation, or their findings were that 68% of the total equipment, whether there are aircraft, weapons, equipment, everything, they said they are vintage. Then they said there are 24% equipment, weapons are you can use to some extent, guzara karenge, but 8% are state of art. And then they said the air, as far as the air is concerned, that is the worst Indian Air Force at present, because they said they don't have the number, the squadron, which according to the air chief, they are supposed to be 42 squadron. At present, they have 30 squadrons, and they have been divided against China and Pakistan. The Rafale, which they were supposed to get 146, they have got about 36, and they are getting 26. As recently, there have been some understanding, but still, uh, the Tejas, which is indigenously they were being produced, they haven't been delivered to the Indian Air Force. So they are in no position to challenge the superiority, the dominance of the Pakistan Air Force, as we demonstrated our capabilities, our professionalism on 27 February when Abhinandan and the two aircraft MiG-21 and NSU, they were down, one in AJK, the other in Indian, look for Jammu and Kashmir. So they have highlighted each and everything, and they said they have no capability. General Panab, the former commander of Northern Command, he said in his written an article in the print, and he has given an interview. He said the Pakistan Armed Forces, the Pakistan Army enjoys edge over everything against India, whether these are weapons, these are missiles, these are nuclear weapons, these are naval and air force. So he said we are in no position to undertake any misadventure against Pakistan. Similarly, another think tank, Pakistani, has said it will be a sort of will be a great mistake saying if India undertakes such activity or goes for a conventional war, because according to his assessment, the Chinese are standing next to Pakistan and they are going to play havoc, but they will support Pakistan, but Pakistan will play havoc. Another important thing to understand is right from 1st January 1949, when ceasefire line was signed, Pakistan hasn't lost an inch of territory on the Western Front. On the Western Front, leaving aside the East, where we were 1,000 miles away, and there are 101 regions. So Pakistanis, we are ready, and will we welcome the any Indian attack, but the response will be massive and heavy, and it will be beyond their imagination.
Exactly.
You know,
Thank you so much, Brigadier Saab, for being with us. Lovely to be in conversation with you, and thank you so much for highlighting but we certainly need to. And I think that Pakistani media now really needs to kind of make sure that they speak about the Modi fascist regime and the, when we look at, how they always make sure that there's this BJPization, not just that, I think against the Muslims of the subcontinent. This has been going on for too long. And, I think that you've heard it right, as Bagheri Saab mentioned, that this is not a war that you would want India. And I think that's a message that I would want to give away today, that Pakistan stands unshaken. We stand for peace, not just that. And even if India craves for conflict, all of this is actually exposing, what India's media is actually trying to do to stoke a war. But we do call for a neutral inquiry, and that's how things need to be taken forward. And I think that the regional peace really needs to be prioritized, and we need to make sure, because Pakistan has always made sure that peace stays amongst the region, and that's exactly what we're going to vouch for. So the only thing that we're going to vouch for is a neutral inquiry, and we need to look into it. And for India to kind of label us within 5 minutes is something that they really need to think about. If they call themselves the largest democracy on this planet, I don't think that they've been playing their role right. In addition to this, I think we need to move forward, because alhamdulillah, I think what I would want to say over here is that at this point of time, that our Chief of Army Staff, Sayyid Asim Munir Saab, is not the kind of the Chief of Army Staff that you really need to mess with. And I think that the resolve that we have as a nation, as Pakistanis, we all Pakistanis stand behind an armed forces, and we will always do that every single day.
All right, moving on to PSL. PSL has been revolving in Pakistan for such a long time, and we have been enjoying cricket.
It will continue to happen.
Yeah, and we have been enjoying cricket. And let's move on to what has been happening.
So first of all, yes,
Multan Sultans is to face Quetta Gladiators today, and one match will be played today in Pakistan Super League 2025. Multan Sultans will face Quetta Gladiators in the 18th match at Gaddafi Stadium, Lahore. PTV Sports HD will telecast the match live from 8 p.m. On the points table, defending champions Islamabad United are at the top with 10 points, remaining undefeated after 5 matches. Peshawar Zalmi are in the 5th place with 4 points after 6 matches, while Multan Sultans will only win one in 6 matches
are at the bottom with 2 points. In addition to this, I think that's a very interesting story for everybody who's out there, because imagine that there's been a bit of rescheduling in the Pakistan Super League, and the Pakistan Cricket Board on Saturday rescheduled 2 matches of the ongoing HBL PSL Pakistan Super League Season 10, adding an extra fixture to Lahore's Gaddafi Stadium and shifting the date of another in Multan. In press release, I think it's of first more importance for people who actually love cricket, because in a press release, the PCB confirmed that the May 1st clash between Multan Sultans and Karachi Kings, originally scheduled at the Multan Cricket Stadium, will now be played in Lahore. The match will begin at 3 p.m. This change creates a double header at Gaddafi Stadium on May 1st, which coincides with the Labor Day public holiday. Later in the evening, the stadium will host the originally scheduled match between Lahore Qalandars and Quetta Gladiators at 8 p.m. Additionally, the final Multan leg fixture between Multan Sultans and Quetta Gladiators, initially set for the afternoon of May 10th, has been moved to the evening of May 11th. The match will begin at 8 p.m. at the Multan Cricket Stadium. The PCB said the decision followed discussions with stakeholders and was made with operational convenience and the recent heat wave across parts of the country in mind. Well, that's great. I think we're trying to look after the weather, and we're trying to look after our players and how the reschedule is taking place. Certainly, I'll be having this conversation on my Game on Wednesday, so please make sure that you tune into PTV Sports from 5 p.m. till 6 p.m. But in addition to this, ladies and gentlemen, I think that it was a dream before, but now we will have Pakistani astronauts who will be going to the outer space. And to kind of speak about it, we're very lucky that we've actually been joined by somebody who will be talking, or in fact sharing information about Pakistan's first manned space mission. He is Mr. Tahir Mahmood, the Deputy Chief Manager, SUPARCO. Hello sir, Assalamu alaikum, good morning. How are you feeling today? I think Tahir Saab, Tahir Saab was probably listening to another phone call. So I think
I actually have a question for you.
Go ahead.
If you were told that you have to go to space at the evening today, what is this one thing that you will take with you?
If I'm going to space?
Yeah.
My daughters.
Oh, that's so sweet.
I think we'll be like, okay guys, let's go and enjoy space. Wow. But in addition to this, I think what we need to kind of share over here is that this happens to be, and we're very weak in this area. We as a nation really need to be more aware of it because it's the World Immunization Week. World Immunization Week, which is celebrated in the last week of April, aims to promote the life-saving power of immunization to protect people of all ages against vaccine preventable diseases. So yeah, we need to get vaccinated.
Exactly.
Vaccines are one of humanity's greatest achievements since 1974. They have saved 154 million lives. That's more than 3 million lives a year on 6 people every minute for 5 decades. In the same period, vaccination has reduced infant deaths by 40%, and more children now live to see their first birthday and beyond than at any other time in human history. Measles vaccine alone accounts for 60% of those lives saved. More lives are now being saved among people of all ages, with more recent vaccines against malaria, HPV, cholera, dengue, meningitis, RSV, Ebola, and Mpox, reflecting an era of massive scientific advancements in vaccine development and delivery. Every new child born deserves the benefit of these vaccines, yet millions still miss out each year to ensure that the immunization successes of the past 50 years are built on in the incoming decades. This year's theme, Immunization for All is Humanly Possible, aims to continue the Humanly Possible campaign with a future-forward look on the importance of ensuring more people, especially children, are vaccinated. So everybody who's out there, please make sure that you get yourself vaccinated and protect yourself, your children against all of those illnesses which can be caused and can actually be looked after if you vaccinate yourself.
You know, in addition to that, we should always remember all the people who contributed towards Pakistan's success, especially in the media industry. So today we are observing the death anniversary of the famous comedian and film actor Munawar Zarif, which is being observed today. Munawar Zarif was a versatile actor and a comedian, best known for his work in the Pakistan cinema of the 1970s, and was named Shahzad by his fans in the film world. He appeared in more than 321 movies and was famous for his out-of-script dialogue delivery. He started his film career from a Punjabi film called Dandan in 1961, and Munawar Zarif died on 29th April 1976 in Lahore.
Yeah. All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, Inna Lillahi wa Inna Ilaihi Raji'un, may his soul rest in peace as well. And in addition to this, you know, obviously we really need to kind of talk about people who are actually pet lovers. You know, how can they actually, probably, you know, people who want pets. You know, do you have a pet?
I have 3 beautiful German shepherds, and I
3
was
beautiful German shepherds? They're big dogs.
They are, and it is such a
3 of them.
workload to handle them, to train them, and to feed them.
Exactly.
They're always very hungry.
And you know, most of the time, I think what actually happens is that, you know, it gets more challenging because there's no rapidly available information as to how to kind of look after your pet if unfortunately they're not feeling well. I've seen people, you know, kind of using self-medication, giving discipline to their dog or to their goats. Is going to Bakra
And
Eid
it is
season
actually
soon
toxic
as well.
for them.
Exactly, so it's bad. So we will be talking about that. We have been joined by a lot of pets over here inside the studios alongside the doctor who's actually going to look after them as well. Ladies and gentlemen, we're very lucky that we've been joined by Dr. USAMA Nasir. Hello, assalamu alaikum, USAMA. Good morning. How are you feeling today?
I'm good, totally
Thank
fine.
you so much for joining us.
Thank
It's
you.
wonderful to have you over here. First of all, please introduce your, you know, other guests as well. You know, who did you bring along?
He's my Harry and Jerry.
Harry and Jerry.
Yeah,
Harry and
both are
Jerry.
6 months old.
Okay.
These are the Australian and my tame pigeon.
Wow.
And this is a guinea pig.
उधर वो गिनी पिग तो बेचारे को उसका पहिया किधर है जिसमें वो भागता है इसको अपने पास कर लें ताकि हम जरा अपने मौजे मेहमानों को भी दिखा सकें तो इसको हम निकाल नहीं सकते पिंजरे में से निकाल सकते तो इसको निकाल के अपने पास रखें ना बॉस
I wouldn't mind holding it myself.
really so go ahead hold it
Really?
yeah
Really?
why not yeah go ahead hold it hold the guinea
I'm
pig
gonna go sit with the cats and dogs.
keep on holding it okay
All
पता लगे
right.
बाद में हमसे पकड़े नहीं जा रहा yeah that's what we don't want
What is
yeah.
your name? What is your name?
Yeah, I think
Okay, I think it's afraid of me.
no, it's not afraid of you. I think, you know, it's just that you really need to be friends with it. Okay, so first things first, Dr. Saab, you know, what is the most common household pet in Pakistan?
The most common is cats and dogs.
Okay, you can come back now with the guinea pig.
Oh,
Yes,
really?
you know, bring it along. Yes. Or so it's cats and dogs. So, you know, how do you think that, what sort of environment needs to be provided for our pets?
Well, basically, in summers, इनके लिए जो ज़्यादातर टेम्परेचर है, obviously वो warm है आजकल. So we need to do like इनको warm temperature से come up करने के लिए हमें cold temperature चाहिए, especially in cat dogs में, especially in long coats में, in Germans, in labs, in golden retrievers, in especially in Persian cats. So हमें इनको cool down करने के लिए obviously we have to
Exactly.
like.
All right, so you know, I want to ask you more about that. Cats and dogs are the most common pets in Pakistan. So what are the potential diseases that they face, and how can we prevent
Well,
these diseases
there
from
is
occurring?
a lot of diseases in different in cats and dogs. Especially in cats, main 3 viral diseases are panleukopenia, calci, and herpes.
All
And
right.
in dogs, especially in
Parvo.
pups, parvo.
Parvo, yeah.
Parvo and the distemper of the moor.
You know, my dog
mouse.
recently had a
Yeah.
parvo scare, but it was not, you know, Allah ka shukr hai. We treated him with drips and everything, so he's fine now.
Yeah, every virus
But
has
you
to.
treated your dog yourself.
No, I took him to the vet.
No, don't do that. You know, people, I think that's the kind of advice that I
Yeah.
would need to give, that, you know, please don't do that
Yeah.
by your own self. You need to go to doctors. Please make sure that you
Exactly.
take them to veterinary doctors
You
as
know,
well.
a lot of medicines like paracetamol and ibuprofen, they're actually
Yeah,
toxic
they
to
are
dogs.
toxic,
So
neurotoxicity,
you never
yes.
need to self-medicate.
Yep.
Yeah, even chocolates are toxic for dogs as well.
Yeah.
So
Yes,
please make sure that
exactly.
you don't
Yes.
give away chocolates.
And you know, speaking
Chocolates.
of food, I actually want to ask you that what are the safest options and the most economical options to feed your pets? You know, because you cannot feed them any household
Yeah,
spices or any food that we make for
Well, the
ourselves.
best diet is chicken soup with broth.
All right, chicken
You can
broth
made in
and
at
soup.
home,
Yeah.
easily to made.
True.
And especially for the cats, and especially for the dogs.
But do you think we need to change their food intake or the kind of food that we provide them
Yeah.
with in summers? Because in winters it's different, in summers it's different, they're more thirstier.
Well, yeah, there is a lot of difference, but in especially cases, cats and dogs are moody.
Okay.
Yeah, so if we have to stuck on that same food,
Diet.
yeah,
That's it.
same diet, that's
and,
it.
And there has always been a debate about, you know, whether to give them food 3 times a day or 2 times a day.
It's totally depend upon how to feed.
Really?
How many to feed, how many times you are gonna offer, and how many times you will just like feed her.
All right, you know, my vet suggested that we feed our dogs once a day, or if we want to feed them twice a day, because they get hungry in the morning.
Yeah.
So they said, okay, you can feed, you can split the quantity in half, and it
Yeah.
can be early in the morning,
Well, you
around
can-
6, 7
you can
a.m., and
tot-
then at evening 6, 7
Exactly,
p.m. That's how
exactly,
you can divide
exactly.
the food.
Yes, you can.
Exactly. And I think what I would want to kind of talk about over here is that how people might not have a lot of confidence of veterinary doctors. I think that's one thing that I would need to, you know, kind of, that's the kind of conversation that I would want to have. Now imagine, because I have kept dogs myself as well, and, you know, one of my dogs actually had paralysis. You know, so the hind 2 legs weren't really working. I think very common in German Shepherds itself, yes. And, you know, so the doctor kept on treating, and the doctor kept on saying, oh, you know, I learned this acupuncture technique from China and whatnot, I'm going to do this. And the bill was like somewhat around 500 or 600,000 rupees for that entire time that my dog was with the vet. How do you think that we can actually do our own research in making sure that whether whatever the doctor is saying is right or not? You know, because with humans, we do know that we can get second opinions, we can go to other people, ask about their experiences. But with veterinaries, I cannot ask this guinea pig whether, you know, the last time that you were with Dr. Usman,
Well-
was it okay or not?
There is a lot of myths and perception in that. Nowadays, people knows how to treat the dogs and cats. That's because of the phone.
Yeah.
They are basically they are totally organized. They know how to tame. They know how to train. They know how to feed.
Okay.
And I love that type of clients because they know everything. They know everything.
Yeah, because they've been doing it for so long. Yeah.
Exactly. And especially they're gonna say, we just go for that type of vaccine. We go for the PCH. We go for rabies. He's just 3 months old. So I just
Yeah.
really appreciate
and
that.
Can you take out Harry and
Yeah,
Jerry as
yeah,
well,
yeah,
you know, so
yeah.
that our viewers can actually see what breed is this?
This is a Persian breed, basically long coat.
Okay.
I just cut the hairs because it's summer.
It's
Oh,
summertime,
look
yeah.
at the
Yeah.
tail.
Look at
I
the
think
tail
we
as
need to
well.
highlight the
We
cutting
want
of
people
the
to
tail.
see this as well. But
This
don't
is
you think,
very-
Dr. Usama, at times, do you get like scared of
No.
different pets coming to
No,
your
no.
clinic, because, you know, they can actually bite you or, you know, kind of scratch you, and there can be so many things, no?
This is our job. You know, every day we have to like abide from the cats and dogs.
Exactly, which is why now the question is, how important is vaccination for pets,
Yeah.
and how important is vaccination for their owners?
Exactly.
Well, it's very, very necessary to vaccine the cats and dogs, especially pups and the kittens at the age of the 2 months.
Okay.
Okay, first of all, you have to deworm, and then second word, after 5 to 7 days or a week, you can go for the vaccine. Like in cats and dogs, the different vaccines, and after every 21 days, there will be the booster shot.
Okay.
You have to do the booster shot, and well, scenario is different both cats and dogs. In
Okay.
cats, just PCH after 21 days, just booster shot, and then annually boosters.
Yeah.
And after that, you just gonna repeat the deworming every 2 months, every 1 month, depending on the medicine.
Exactly.
And in dogs, in different case.
Obviously, with dogs it's different, but with cats, what we do see is that it's really hard for you to keep the cats inside your house.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
so they'll roam around.
Exactly.
They'll
You know,
want
I
to
don't know.
get out,
Yeah,
they'll scratch
they'll
at the
start
door.
crying, they'll
Yeah.
start shouting, they'll
Yeah.
start scratching. So is it better that we get them neutered as well, and then the spaying surgery? Should we
this
get
is
it
very
done?
necessary because when the age of the in males, we just neuter at the age of the 6.5, 7 months, and in females 7 to 8 months.
But I recently read some articles.
Can you
Go
complete?
ahead, go ahead.
Just to avoid the shedding, just to avoid the anorexia, just to avoid the fighting, just to get trapped over the home and fight from the other stray cats. So it's a very beneficial for both cats and dogs to get neutered and spayed. I
Okay.
just totally recommend at the age of the like 7 to 8 months we should
Get
yeah.
it done.
All right, I recently read an article which said that spaying and neutering cats and dogs actually reduces their lifespan and leads them into depression in the long term. But however, I have experienced this myself. One of my dogs, she was a Cocker Spaniel. So at the age of 11 years, she actually contacted a disease, a bacterial infection within her uterus. So, the vet said that if we had spayed her, if we had neutered her, that wouldn't have happened.
Yeah.
So,
It's just a myth. It's just a myth to doesn't like go for the surgeries and just like उनकी जो है वो lifespan कम हो जाएगी. No, it's not like that.
All right. And for all the pet lovers, can you describe any basic first aid that people can do at home to check if their dog is all right, or to administer any life-saving techniques? Just yesterday, I fed my dog food and she started choking on it.
Oh.
And I didn't know what to do. For humans, we have that Heimlich maneuver where you
Yeah.
push on the chest. So I didn't know what to do to her. So I just got her water and then she ended up throwing up her food. So I'm glad the choking stopped. So are there any techniques for us to check
Piece of bread.
our pets'
Well,
temperatures or anything like that?
I just recommend one thing. Every client, every person should have the thermometer first of all to check the temperature right now, nowadays. All right, especially in long coats, cats and dogs, first of all. And second thing, in diet, don't give bone hard object in that.
Okay.
These are all the things that cause obstruction, that cause like different types of diseases in stomachs. Okay.
It's okay. It's okay. She'll be around. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Is this one Jerry or Harry?
Harry. This is
Harry.
Harry. This is Harry.
Okay, so this is Jerry and that's Harry. Well,
Jerry has his
I think that's great. But in addition to this, now I think what we really need to talk about is how important it is for us to kind of give them an environment which is really clean. And then I would want to compare it with, when we go out on the streets and we see these street dogs and cats. I mean, they're fit and healthy as well. So why do we have to go to a vet?
Yeah.
Because there's a natural process for them to heal, recover, and do everything.
Well, I just mentioned one thing. There is hell difference between a baby who born in the Islamabad, a baby who born in typical type of gaon or
Yeah.
town. Okay, the immunity, and the diseases is a hell difference. Obviously, in towns or in gaon type of areas, their immunity are more than.
बिग के साथ ये इसके साथ लड़ तो नहीं पड़ेगी?
No.
They're friends? Yeah,
Yeah.
they're friends.
We thought we were going to have
But
a Tom and Jerry
they're gonna
moment.
hiss. Yeah.
या इसको हटा लो, हटाओ जरा इसको उठा लो, इनके आपस में कोई लड़ाई झगड़ा ना हो जाए. Yeah, that's good. Please go ahead.
So every in street cat dogs, obviously they have more immunity than the Persian cats.
Okay.
So that's why we're gonna just give them more potential, more effort, more concern about the Persian cats and especially tamed cats and dogs.
All right.
This is the reason.
I think, well, that's wonderful. And what about the facility over here? Do we have, such a facility over here where we can get surgeries done?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, if your pet has been in an accident or a car ran it over, do you think that we have such services over here?
Alhamdulillah, we're gonna provide every type of services like treatments, vaccinations, surgeries, emergency cares, first aids, food, accessories, every type of Alhamdulillah.
And where is your clinic, Dr. Sama?
Right now, I'm just located in the West Reach, just in front of the CST mall. Vestige 1.
Vestige 1.
Yeah, Rawalpindi.
I think, thank you so much for joining us, sir. Thank you so much for sharing so much of vital information.
Thank you.
Thank you
And
for
one
letting
last
us
question,
play with
that
you.
is that we might have missed out on an important question. What do you think that people really need to be mindful about if they have pets in their places?
Well, people should know about how to carry, how to feed, and how to vaccine.
All right. And,
People doesn't know. People know I just like put the cat and put the dog in the home, but how to manage? No. Everybody doesn't know about that.
Exactly.
So we have to like spread the informations. We have spread the knowledge about every client. We should be different areas, and that's the reason I just focus on the management of the cats and dogs, and especially pets at the home.
Exactly. Thank you so much, Dr. Osama, for
Thank
being
you.
with us.
Thank
Lovely to be in conversation with you, ladies and gentlemen, from the hosting panel. You know, so it's me, it's Eesha, and it's
And we have our little
its
guinea
name?
pig.
Yes, exactly. So, ladies and gentlemen, look after yourselves, look after your pets. And since it's summertime, please make sure that you look after the entire flora and fauna. Please put water outside for the birds. You know, put some, some of their dietary things, whatever they consume. Until next time, look after yourselves. 1, 2, 3. Good morning. Have a great day.